So that's the next question. Why should we use page object model? Or if you have to convince someone, why should they use page object model? And you will see this is summary of what we have discussed. So what is the first point? I think this point we did not talk about. It came indirectly. Okay, clarity. Yeah, Betsy, it is about clarity, but what is clear? What is the clarity? Yeah, test code is more clear. Awesome. Yes, so she's talking about here if we write page object model test, this is more clear to read. If I read it, I can understand what this test is doing. Yeah, so we can say it clarity, but here I have captured this point as it makes test code more readable. So you can say more clear, more easy to read, easy to understand. That's fair point. Second benefit of page object model, what is this benefit? Yeah, that's a tortoise with wheels and a rocket to beat the rabbit, right? Yeah, so it makes things faster. What is things? Yeah, Deepak, please elaborate. What is things here? Yeah, so it helps us automate faster. Awesome. Yeah. Sorry, Deepak, I keep pulling your leg for all the words you write. Thanks. If you don't mind for that, amazing. Thank you so much. Okay. So this is helps in quickly automating test cases. What is this? Somebody mentioned this point already. Yes, that is maintainable. Test cases are easy to maintain because if developer is saying I have made some changes in the page code, then you go and update your page object model in the framework. And the last difference is, yeah, this we did not discuss. It came as one of the point, but what is the point do you see here? What this image is representing? Okay, pluggable. Yeah, the pluggable is the right point. I will say it as extensible. So if remember in Facebook page we were talking about that should I add every element in my classes from the beginning. So there we talked about no, as and when the functionality becomes available or whatever functionality we are focusing on in a page, only those elements we should be adding to our page classes. So today we may be adding only post and boost post, only these two functionality, and tomorrow we can add more functionality. So typically if we are testing an under development application where dev team is making the features available one by one, then same way we can enhance our page object model classes also when developer is adding more and more features. So that is the point here of extensibility. And pluggability point that you mentioned, that's really great, but that we have taken care in the logger. Remember we talked about pluggable architecture over there, that we can replace one logger with another. Yeah. So that was the point of pluggability, where your framework has few pieces which you can easily plug in and plug out. Yeah, so Selenium now becomes a layer with this page object model design. If you see, our test cases are dependent on the page object model. Now tomorrow, let's say a better framework comes than Selenium, then your test code does not need to change. You just need to go and change your page object model classes. So you will say, in our overall framework, we are plugging out Selenium library and we are plugging in another framework that has come and that is more advanced and better than Selenium. Yeah. So hope that makes sense about the pluggability. Yeah. Okay, great. So we have seen these 4 benefits. Now this list is not exhaustive. It doesn't say only these are the 4 benefits. There may be other benefits that you can think of. I'm sure you will be able to think of, but these are some points which give us an idea why, or which can help us convince someone that why we used page object model, what were the benefits we were seeing in the page object model. Yeah, so that is what ends our discussion about page object model. I hope we are clear on 3 points, 3 mainline points. One, we understand what is page object model. Second, we can convert any given web page into a class because we have written a lot of classes code earlier, so that should not be a big deal. Is there someone who feels he or she may need help in converting a web page into classes? Okay, So Bhargav says we will try, but we may need help. Yeah, sure, Bhargav. We will be taking those kind of questions. Fair. So you give it a try. That is more important. First, you put in your effort, come up with the design. Then we look at the design. We talk about what is plus, what is minus in that, and that's how we become better in understanding and in learning. Yeah. Okay. So this is where we end today's discussion.